He is now being escorted by the Japanese government to return to Korea. A crowd of citizens is seen lining the streets to witness Hunter Sung Jinwoo, the hero who saved Japan. An official mentioned that about 100,000 people gathered just to see Hunter Sung off. Jinwoo said, "I guess this is my last day in Japan." Baru whispered and said, "My king, look, your people are paying their respects to you. Perhaps you should wave to them." Jinwoo flatly replied, "You misunderstood, Baru." Soon after, Jinwoo boarded a plane to return to Korea. However, on the plane, Jinwoo was surprised because he was sitting next to Adam White, someone from the American Hunter Bureau. Adam said, "It's an honor to meet you again, Hunter Sung." Jinwoo replied, "Isn't our deal finished?" Adam then said that he had an important matter to discuss. He then opened his laptop and showed a recording of an incredible fire. Adam said that the person who started the fire was Christopher Reed, one of the national-level hunters. 1,800 firefighters and 14 A-rank hunters were deployed to extinguish the fire. Jinwoo asked, "How could the fire be this intense? It seems like the aftermath of a battle. So what about Christopher's condition?" Adam answered, "At first we didn't believe it either, but he was already dead when we found him." Adam then showed a photo and said, "And this is a photo of the man suspected by the American Hunter Bureau as the perpetrator of Christopher's murder." And it turned out to be a photo of Jinwoo's father. Instantly, Jinwoo was furious and used his Monarch's authority skill to grab Adam. The laptop in front of Jinwoo shattered. Immediately, Jinwoo said, "Is this some kind of joke? You won't leave here alive." Other association members were seen wanting to help Adam, but Adam stopped them by saying, Cha, don't come closer." Adam, in pain, then said to Jinwoo, "The man in the photo emerged from a dungeon. He might not be the person you think he is, Hunter Sung." Jinwoo said, "What do you mean he came out of a dungeon?" Adam answered that the man had emerged from a dungeon. The energy he emitted was like the energy possessed by monsters. He also attacked our S-rank hunter, leading to an explosion incident at the Hunter Bureau headquarters a few months ago. Jinwoo released Adam and said, "So you mean my father is the mastermind?" Adam, still in pain, continued, "After he attacked our hunter, he immediately disappeared. Even though the Hunter Bureau searched for him discreetly, there was no trace of him. I understand how you feel, but the facts suggest that he is most likely the perpetrator. The fire that burned the association building before is the same as the fire that burned Christopher." Jinwoo said, "And that's your reason for showing this photo?" Adam answered, "The International Guild Conference. At this year's conference, where representatives of the world's guilds will gather, the American Hunter Bureau intends to issue an emergency statement about your father's case. In other words, the investigation will no longer be a secret. Because America has lost a national-level hunter, they will do anything to uncover the mastermind. And at the same time, our Hunter Bureau still wants to maintain a good relationship with Hunter Sung. That is why we are informing you first before making it public." Jinwoo thought to himself, "Father disappeared into a dungeon 10 years ago. Is it possible he returned as a monster? What really happened?" The scene then shifts to Korea, specifically at the Hunters Guild headquarters, which is holding a press conference. The International Guild Conference, to be held in America, will begin in a few days. It is an important meeting discussing the hunter world, inviting guild representatives from every country. The American Hunter Bureau has announced the list of invited guilds, with Ajin Guild representing Korea. The name Ajin Guild is already famous for achieving great feats, both domestically and internationally. Although Hunter Sung Jinwoo is the only elite hunter in Ajin Guild, this is in fact recognized by the American Hunter Bureau. A reporter is seen asking about the Hunters Guild's response to Ajin Guild being selected to represent Korea. Choi Jong-in answered that the American Hunter Bureau's decision was correct. "This is how it should be." A reporter asked, "With only the strength of one person, isn't it an exaggeration to call Ajin a guild?" Jong-in replied, "But isn't that one person Hunter Sung Jinwoo? If a guild is determined by the number it can mobilize, then Hunter Sung Jinwoo already has hundreds in his guild. I witnessed his skills myself on Jeju Island. The power of Ajin Guild cannot be matched by any other guild from any country." A reporter asked, "Hasn't the Hunters Guild always represented Korea until now? I think this doesn't give a good impact for the Hunters Guild." Jong-in answered, "I'll be honest. I am very proud that Hunter Sung has been chosen as Korea's representative." Finally, the Hunters Guild press conference concluded elegantly. The scene then shifts to the Scavenger Guild in America. Laura is seen reporting that Hunter Sung Jinwoo will arrive in America tomorrow. Thomas replies, "All right, thank you for the information." Soon someone enters the room and says, "Did you call for me?" Thomas answers, "There's something I want to tell you. I'll get straight to the point. Don't lay a hand on Hunter Sung Jinwoo, Mr. Hwang Dong-soo." But Dong-soo remains silent without a word. Thomas says, "I know your brother was killed by Hunter Sung Jinwoo. Since there were suspicious circumstances surrounding his death, you must want to confirm it." On the other hand, Dong-soo himself is resentful and tries to speak. But before Dong-soo can speak, Thomas immediately stops him with his intimidating aura. "When did I tell you to speak, Mr. Hwang Dong-soo?" And instantly, Dong-soo gets goosebumps from fear. Laura, seeing this, mutters to herself, "Just by speaking, he can make an S-rank hunter fall silent like a statue." Thomas is indeed incredible, but when it comes to pure strength, Dong-soo is Thomas's equal. Thomas then grabs Dong-soo's shoulder and says, "I warn you once again, never touch Hunter Sung Jinwoo. Take a vacation to your villa while the international conference is going on. You'd better listen to my words, Mr. Hwang Dong-soo." The annoyed Dong-soo replies, "I'll do as you say." Dong-soo then leaves the room with an irritated expression. Thomas then gives an order to Laura to keep an eye on Hwang Dong-soo until Hunter Sung Jinwoo leaves America. The next day, participants of the International Guild Conference from various countries have arrived in America. There, two hunters are seen passing through the crowd of reporters. He is Leonard Nierman from the Richter Guild, representing Germany. He says, "Vice Chairman, why are there so many reporters here?" His vice chairman answers, "It seems it's because the Korean hunter who is often the topic of discussion has arrived today. That seems to be him." Leonard then looks in Jinwoo's direction. "Should I greet him? There's no harm in building a relationship with a strong hunter, right?" He then walks towards Jinwoo, but before he can approach Jinwoo, he immediately gets goosebumps and freezes on the spot. Leonard says, "Vice Chairman, can't you see it? The shadow creatures of a shadow user are usually in another dimension, but he is carrying that many shadow creatures at once within his shadow. Even if he wanted to declare war on America with that number, everything would be utterly destroyed." Meanwhile, on the other side, Jinwoo senses someone staring at him intently. Jinho says, "Since the news of your strength has spread widely, I guess there are some fans who want to take pictures with you, Hwang. And by the way, why is Chairman Woo Jin-chul here too?" Jin-chul answers that he isn't sure either, but I was assigned as Hunter Sung's protector. Jinho, hearing this, laughs and teases him. "Protector for Hunter Sung, you say? Just who are you protecting, Chairman?" Soon after, Adam White approaches Jinwoo and says, "I've been waiting for your arrival, Hunter Sung. I am now assigned to escort Hunter Sung during his stay in America. Can you come with me for a moment?" Jinwoo then says, "All right, Jinho, you go to the hotel first with Chairman Jin-chul. I'll catch up later." Jinwoo thinks to himself, "It seems he will discuss the matter about my father." Sensing Jinwoo's serious expression, Adam says, "This isn't the matter you're thinking of, but it's another piece of confidential information I want to convey." And immediately after, they head to the American Hunter Bureau headquarters. On the way, Adam says that the Hunter Association's situation has worsened significantly after the death of the national-level hunter, Christopher Reed. Now is a critical time to gather strength. We are compiling a list of hunters who could replace Christopher's position. Jinwoo replies, "You mean I'm also on that list?" Adam nods and begins to make an offer. "Look at this, Hunter Sung. This is a runestone from the Kamish Dragon, the worst disaster in human history, a past we certainly don't want to remember. And we are looking for a master for this runestone. What do you think of our offer, Hunter Sung?" But on the other hand, Jinwoo isn't interested in the runestone at all. However, at the same time, Jinwoo seems curious about something else. Jinwoo says, "Please scroll the photo. I want to see the photo next to it clearly." Adam replies, "What do you mean? You want to see the corpse of Kamish?" Jinwoo says, "Correct. Is it possible America has preserved Kamish's corpse? Where is it located? Can we go there first?" Adam answers, "Indeed, we have stored and preserved Kamish's corpse, but I myself don't know the exact storage location. However, if this is Hunter Sung's request, I will ask my superiors for permission." "Can you wait for that, Hunter Sung?" Jinwoo replies. "Then all right, I will wait for your news at the Hunter Bureau." After they arrive at the Hunter Bureau headquarters, Adam then meets with the chairman of the American Hunter Bureau, who is with the vice chairman. Adam reports that Hunter Sung Jinwoo didn't care about the Kamish Dragon runestone at all. But strangely, Hunter Sung was instead interested in seeing Kamish's corpse. Hearing this, the Bureau chairman is very surprised. "All right, I will discuss this with the vice chairman. You may leave first, Adam." After Adam leaves the room, the Hunter Bureau chairman asks his vice chairman, "What do you think is Hunter Sung's reason for wanting to see Kamish's corpse?" The vice chairman answers, "I'm not sure, but one thing is certain. His intention isn't just to look. It can't be that looking at a corpse is more tempting than getting a runestone." The chairman says, "Doesn't Hunter Sung have a skill that allows him to raise the monsters he kills?" The vice chairman is taken aback for a moment. Is it possible he doesn't have to kill with his own hands? What if he can raise long-dead monsters as his shadow creatures? Hearing that, the chairman immediately panics. "What? If that's true, we can't possibly allow it. No one should become that strong." The vice chairman replies, "But if we refuse him, it will be difficult to maintain America's relationship with him." The chairman looks troubled thinking about it. "All right, I will take him there myself. Maybe this is a chance to see his skill." And soon after, the bureau chairman, along with the vice chairman and Adam, meet Jinwoo and take him to see the Kamish dragon. Jinwoo thinks to himself, I can't believe they built the Hunter Bureau headquarters right on top of where Kamish was killed. They then take an elevator down to the basement and arrive at a room. Jinwoo feels the air here is mixed with magical energy. Even after 8 years since Kamish was defeated, its magical energy still remains. I wonder how strong it will be when I turn Kamish into a shadow soldier. After that, the four of them enter the room and are faced with the runestone and the corpse of the Kamish dragon, which is now only skeletal remains. The chairman says, we preserved it after Kamish killed hundreds of elite hunters before it was finally defeated by 5 national-level hunters. So are you satisfied, Hunter Sung? On the other hand, Jinwoo then walks closer to Kamish's corpse. The vice chairman says, is this all right? The chairman replies, it's fine, I'll allow it. Just observe what happens. Jinwoo now stands right in front of the protective glass, shielding Kamish's remains. He then stretches out his hand and says, rise. A powerful wave of energy is released, but unfortunately, Jinwoo fails to extract it. A system message appears. Shadow extraction failed. Attempts remaining, 2. Jinwoo then takes a breath and tries again. Rise! And at that moment, Kamish's corpse begins to react. A black aura emerges from Kamish's remains, and finally Kamish is successfully extracted. The resurrection of Kamish causes the lights to shatter and air pipes to burst. The shadow of Kamish roars and says, was it you who summoned me, O monarch of death, shadow monarch? And of course, the bureau chairman and the others are utterly shocked to see this. What is that? I don't believe it. However, when Kamish sees the humans before him, the command implanted in his head reacts. Humans! Kill humans! I will kill them all! The Kamish dragon shatters the glass wall with its claws. Kamish roars and is about to release its fiery breath. Everyone panics instantly. Chairman, you must escape immediately. The chairman says, that is Kamish's breath. Where could we possibly escape to? But on the other side, Jinwoo says in the monster language, enough. Stop all of this. The mana crystal implanted in your head was removed long ago. You don't need to follow the ruler's command to kill humans. Hearing that, Kamish immediately calms down. And of course, Adam and the others are also in disbelief upon seeing Jinwoo speak the monster language. Kamish then bows its head and says, so this is what it feels like to serve the Shadow Monarch. As a dragon who once served the Dragon King, I welcome you as my new king. Jinwoo then touches its head and says, so you previously served the Dragon King? That is correct, my king. I served the Mad Dragon King, the monarch of destruction. Jinwoo thinks to himself, this dragon is incredible. This dragon has a very strong ego, surpassing all the monsters I've encountered so far. There's no doubt that it is an extremely powerful being. Jinwoo also remembers something. The monarch of destruction must be one of the 9 monarchs the system showed me. However, suddenly, the shadow of the Kamish dragon begins to lose its form. Kamish says, forgive me, my king. It seems I must bid you farewell. It seems our meeting was too late. And of course, Jinwoo is very panicked. No way! Even the power of the Shadow Monarch cannot overcome the 8 years that have passed. The shadow of Kamish says, I am very envious of the shadow soldiers who can serve you until the end. Before I disappear, there is something I must tell you. There are 4 humans who have borrowed the power of the rulers. Be wary of them, my king. Even though our meeting was brief, it was an honor to meet you, my king. Finally, the shadow of the Kamish dragon disappears completely. Jinwoo then says to the Hunter Bureau chairman that he is very sorry and will cover all the costs for the damages here. The very frustrated Jinwoo then leaves and punches a door, smashing it to pieces. Meanwhile, on the other side, the bureau chairman and vice chairman are puzzled seeing Hunter Sung Jinwoo suddenly look so angry. Upon arriving at the hotel, Jinchul immediately approached Jinwoo, who was still with Adam. Jinchul says that he hasn't been able to contact Hunter Sung. Jinwoo replies that he was in a place with no signal. Jinchul asks, then did you meet Jinho? He left immediately after receiving your message. He said you were waiting for him at the Hunter Bureau headquarters. Jinwoo is a little confused and says, what do you mean? I just came from there and didn't see Jinho. Adam also says that Jinho's name is not in the visitor log for the Bureau headquarters. Huh? Are you sure? Because 2 hours ago, a hunter from the Scavenger Guild came personally to pick up Jinho, says Jinchul. Adam is somewhat surprised. The Scavenger Guild shouldn't have the authority to take over the Hunter Bureau's work. Adam then intends to contact the Scavenger Guild. On the other hand, Jinwoo has a bad feeling about this situation, and at this moment, Adam has called Laura from the Scavenger Guild and explained what happened. Hearing this, Laura falls silent for a moment and begins to realize something. Impossible! Could this be his doing? Laura frantically asks, has Hunter Sung become aware of this situation? Adam answers that Hunter Sung is not yet aware of the situation. Laura then says that the Scavenger Guild will investigate this matter as quickly as possible. Adam then conveys this to Jinwoo, but quickly Jinwoo has already disappeared from there. Jinwoo is now moving on his own to find Jinho. Damn it, I was careless. I forgot to place shadow soldiers to guard Jinho after using Shadow Exchange to save his father a few days ago. I don't want something like what happened to Gina to happen again. Come out! Jinwoo then summoned a number of shadow soldiers to search for Jinho, and shortly after, all of Jinwoo's shadow soldiers spread out across the city. The scene then shifts to where Thomas Andre is. After Thomas received a report from Laura, he immediately went to find Hwang Dong-soo. And at that moment, Thomas saw the officers assigned to monitor Hwang Dong-soo now lying helpless. Thomas was angry and said, "Damn you, Hwang Dong-soo! Find him before he finds him. We have to find Hwang Dong-soo first, no matter what." Meanwhile, on the other side, a person was seen helpless, blood dripping from his mouth, and on top of him stood Hwang Dong-soo. The scene then shifts to where Jinwoo is. He is now standing on a building, listening to the conversations of people heard by his shadow soldiers. However, damn it, Jinwoo didn't hear a single person talking about Jinho. Has he maybe left the city? But Jinho is a hunter. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to kidnap him, even in large numbers. Even if the car carrying him suddenly changed direction, Jinho would have noticed immediately and resisted. The only clue the perpetrator left is that they are with the Scavenger Guild. As Jinwoo kept thinking about it, he remembered something. Could it be the younger brother of Hwang Dong-suk? He must have been waiting for us to come to America to avenge his brother's death. Since only I and Jinho survived that incident back then, Hwang Dong-suk must think that we are the ones who killed his brother. Damn it, why did I forget the warning Inspector Woo Jin-cheol gave back then? If only I had placed a shadow soldier on Jinho, this might not have happened. If anything happens to Jinho, I won't stand idly by. Meanwhile, at the Scavenger Guild building, Thomas was still waiting for news about Hunter Hwang Dong-soo's whereabouts. Annoyed, he said, what was he thinking? Dong-soo should know the difference in power between himself and Sung Jinwoo. This is clearly foolish. But if he's gone this far, it means he knew I would intervene. It seems I've been too good to my members. Thomas then called Laura and asked about the current situation. Laura answered that she had already cooperated with the Hunter Bureau. We have also analyzed Hwang Dong-soo's movement patterns. He has deviated from his activity patterns over the last month. From that data, we have estimated Hwang Dong-soo's location. Thomas replied, all right, send all our members there immediately. I will also go there. But how did you manage to persuade the Hunter Bureau? Laura answered, I told them, if we don't find Hwang Dong-soo immediately, there will be a conflict with Hunter Sung Jinwoo. Meanwhile, at the Hunter Bureau office, they looked very panicked. Adam then said that all members of the Scavenger Guild were on their way to the estimated location. All raid schedules were canceled. All hunters were now rushing to find the whereabouts of Hunter Hwang Dong-soo. The vice chairman thought to himself, if all Scavenger Guild members are moving, that means Thomas is behind this command. What is really happening? The scene then shifts to an abandoned building far from the crowds. Inside the building, 4 people were seen. 3 were standing in front of one person who was helpless, and it turned out to be Hwang Dong-soo's group who had been torturing Yoo Jin-ho. Dong-soo said cynically, actually, I didn't plan to torture him, but there's just one thing I want to know. Thomas did warn me not to touch Hunter Sung Jinwoo, but from the start, I never planned to bother Hunter Sung Jinwoo because there is one other person who can provide answers about my brother's death. You, Hunter Yoo Jin-ho. In fact, if you just confessed what really happened to my brother, I would have let you go unharmed. There's just one thing I want to hear from you. Did Hunter Sung Jinwoo kill my brother? Dong-soo then approached Jinho and hit him. Wake up, you damn bastard! But Jinho remained silent. One of Dong-soo's men said, he's pretty tough. Luckily, he's a hunter. If he were an ordinary person, he'd be dead by now. Dong-soo replied, I don't understand why he's so stubborn. His courage is commendable. And at that moment, Dong-soo then slammed Jinho's head and said, hey, listen to me, you idiot. I don't want to kill you. The person behind me is a quite skilled healer hunter. He will always heal you every time you're near death. If you don't open your mouth soon, you will be tortured here forever. Plus, we are in a factory that has been closed for 5 years. No matter how loud you scream, no one will hear you. So open your mouth right now, you damn bastard. Jinho, already bruised and battered, began to open his mouth. Gasping for breath, Jinho said, You bastard. Naturally, Dong-soo was very annoyed and immediately slammed Jinho's head again very hard. Jinho was beaten to a pulp. Dong-soo smiled and said, let's start the interrogation again. But suddenly, one of the High Orc shadow soldiers arrived in the building. Dong-su's comrade who saw it said, "What the hell is that? Is that a high orc monster? Could a dungeon break have happened around here?" Dong-su then released his aura while approaching the monster. Seeing this, the high orc shadow looked scared, and at that moment, Dong-su shot forward to throw a punch. "I don't have time to play around with a monster like you." However, at the same time, Jinwoo became aware of the situation and immediately activated the skill Shadow Exchange to swap places with that high orc shadow. Poof! The scene then shifts to Korea, precisely at Sung Jinwoo's apartment. Jinna and her mother were seen relaxing while watching TV. Her mother wondered, "How is your brother doing, Jinna?" Baru, who was assigned to guard Jinna, murmured, "Oh, my king's mother, you need not worry. No one can defeat my king." But suddenly, Baru felt a terrifying feeling. I've felt this feeling before. It seems my king is extremely angry." Meanwhile, the shadow soldiers slipped into several hunters also felt Jinwoo's rage. The shadow under Jong-su was seen trembling. His vice leader noticed it and said, "Chairman Jong-su, the shadow under your feet is moving." Meanwhile, in America, cars from the Scavenger Guild and the Hunter Bureau started moving. They were now heading to the estimated location of Hunter Hwang Dong-su, and at that moment, Thomas felt a terrifying aura from a certain place. "Damn it, it seems it has already begun." Thomas then kicked open the car door and got out. Thomas said, "I'll go directly to the location. You follow me as fast as you can." Thomas then started running extremely fast. The scene then shifts to where Jinwoo is. After Jinwoo learned of Jinho's location, he immediately activated the skill Shadow Exchange, and instantly Jinwoo landed a powerful punch right in Hwang Dong-su's stomach. As a result, Dong-su vomited blood from his mouth and was sent flying back very hard. Dong-su's two comrades were utterly shocked. Jinho, who couldn't believe his eyes, smiled weakly because his Hyungnim had now arrived. Jinwoo then approached Jinho and gave him a full recovery potion. But a system message appeared. Target with HP below 10% cannot be recovered with a potion. And of course, this made Jinwoo even more furious. Jinwoo then said to Dong-su's two comrades, "Which one of you is the healer? Heal Jinho immediately." But Dong-su's comrades didn't understand Korean. Dong-su, who had gotten up, said, "Sung Jinwoo is telling you to heal that person." Dong-su then released his power aura while staring at Jinwoo. "This is the first time we've met face to face, isn't it, Sung Jinwoo?" Jinwoo said, "I'll say it again. Heal Jinho." Dong-su's comrade smiled and replied, "What did you say? You'd better convince my boss first before asking me for a favor." And instantly, Jinwoo grabbed that person's head and slammed it into a pillar, knocking him unconscious. Jinwoo then looked at the other person and said, "Are you a healer too? Heal Jinho quickly." That person panicked and said, "Mr. Hwang Dong-su, why didn't you say this job involved Hunter Sung Jinwoo?" Jinwoo said, "Let me say it once more. Are you a healer?" The person answered, "I'm not a healer." Hearing that, Jinwoo immediately slammed his head into the floor very hard. Dong-su then walked closer and said, "Was it you who killed my brother inside the dungeon?" On one side, the heavily injured Jinho said, "Hyung, he is Hwang Dong-su, the younger brother of Hwang Dong-suk." Jinwoo replied, "Don't talk now, Jinho." Dong-su said again, "Answer me, Jinwoo. Did you and your friend kill my brother?" Jinwoo stared at him and answered, "You'd better ask your brother yourself." Hearing that answer, Dong-su became enraged and was about to throw a punch, but Jinwoo easily dodged it while launching a counterattack. Dong-su vomited blood from his mouth and was sent crashing into a wall. And suddenly, Jinwoo was now right beside Dong-su. Dong-su said, "Who are you?" And just like that, Jinwoo slammed Dong-su's head down very hard. Jinwoo then grabbed Dong-su's head again and slammed it down repeatedly, very brutally. A moment later, Thomas Andre arrived and said, "Stop! Hwang Dong-su, I warned you not to touch him. Are you still alive in there?" Jinwoo answered, "He's not dead yet." Thomas said, "If you understand the situation, then stop the nonsense and let him go immediately. I'll consider this never happened if you release him." "What if I don't follow your order?" said Jinwoo challengingly. Thomas, annoyed, replied, "Then this won't end well." "Do whatever you want," said Jinwoo, while throwing Dong-su aside. The dying Dong-su said, "Good, everything went according to plan. Now Thomas has no choice but to intervene. Kill Jinwoo for me, Thomas." At this moment, Jinwoo and Thomas had released their auras and were facing each other. Thomas said, "Do you know who I am, huh?" Jinwoo stared back and answered, "I don't care. I don't care who you are." Thomas thought to himself, I didn't expect him to say that, even though he knows who I am. With a terrifying aura, Thomas smiled and said, "All right, blame your own arrogance, you damn bastard." And instantly, Thomas launched his punch. But before the clash happened, we were shown a short flashback of Thomas Andre. Thomas was born into a poor immigrant family and had many enemies since childhood. Thomas had nothing except for a great talent he was born with. He possessed unmatched physical strength that could destroy anyone. He continuously demonstrated his prowess in fights. His power could clearly change anyone who opposed him. Strength, power, wealth, and violence. He was like a king ruling the world. With the immense power within him, he strove to become a true king of the world. Those who stood in his way would be destroyed and kneel. Violence was justice to him, and we return to the present situation where Jinwoo and Thomas are facing each other. And without much talk, Thomas began attacking Jinwoo. "Blame your own arrogance for daring to defy me," and boom. Meanwhile, outside the building, the Hunter Bureau members had gathered at the location. And besides them, all the hunters from the Scavenger Guild were also prepared there. And at that moment, a huge explosion occurred, even hitting the Hunter Bureau cars. It turned out the explosion came from Thomas Andre, who was sent flying due to Sung Jinwoo's counterattack.